Hello good people of the internet, welcome back to an infamous, I keep on thinking it's infamous 2, it's not. It's Infamous Festival of Blood. I'm going to be doing the Canopic jars. I know I said I wouldn't, but turns out it's an extremely good idea to do it, because the blood meter that's where the heart is gets bigger the more that you do. Also, when I do this, I'm going to point out where every single one of those teachings of Mary is. I've found an image. I will link back to it. So what I'm going to do is on this, it's basically the same thing. It's infamous. Yeah, there we go. Do that. Sorry, getting something sorted. So there's that infamous 2. Festival of Blood. And then we're going to put in the Collectibles map. And I'm going to link back directly to where I found that thing because it's too useful. If you get this, it's too useful. There we go. It's perfect. It's all 3 maps tied together. Well, or both islands tied together. I'll sort out everything else with the descriptions and whatnot, and the tagging and everything else. Make sure everything's all okay and all tickety boo. But yeah. It said in the trophy page that I looked at that it would take you about 20 to 30 minutes to get all the Canopic jars. Once you get those first 5 Mary's teachings, and we do. One of them is, of course, up here, which we've already got, so that's there. There's one there. There's one here. There's one on here. There's one there. There. And there's one there. 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 And there, which I believe is the first one that you get, so you can't miss that one. Oh, and right the way down here, which I believe I've got that one too. But right, so what we're going to do is just get all the Canopic jars. So we're going to start over here. We're going to do each block as we go. Yes, that's on this one. That's not on the map. Should be one about there.
It's him.
Okay, so we've done all of that. Next one is this block, which says that there are 3, but I've got a sneaky suspicion there's going to be a couple more.
Rip him!
Yeah, this one's not on the map either. I mean, the map's good, it looks okay, but it's not accurate. Not even close. It's a good starting place, don't get me wrong, but it's I like things to be correct, and if it's not, it tends to get on my nerves, and it's not. See, this one's not on the map either. No. Oh. Now this one was, and is, I believe. Yes, this one is. As is that one. Take it. Go. Really? I've already got. Yeah, that one I've already got too. Well, that's not even on the map. And here. Yeah, I had that one too. And that one. Over here.
Is that even legal? Yo, I don't understand.
20 minutes my backside. It's going to take hours.
Oh, no way.
You know what? I'm only going to do about 10 minutes of, about another 5 minutes of this. I'll post the map. If you get the downloadable content, it's all well and good, and you can get all that. The only thing that I really want to include is Mary's teachings, so I might actually spend the next part of this video doing this, and I'll clear up the Canopic jars myself, so that you're not having to wheedle through all of that, because wow.
Upon arriving in New Marais, I met a kindly innkeeper who showed me special attention. His wife had died 13 years prior in childbirth, and she left him with an inn to manage and twin baby girls to raise. Oh, those girls were his very heart. He would watch them proudly as they walked among the tables serving food and drink. Oh, they were beautiful in appearance and sweet in manner, having blossomed into young women at an early age. Their beauty was striking, but their similarity even more so. Patrons would often stop and stare as they walked past. By any measure of observation, the two girls were completely identical. As I recall, they even tasted the same.
That's quite funny.
It's over, all right? Done.
Got it. Ah, there are catacombs. Okay. Try to go up here though. Oh, what a surprise.
Busted.
Here we go. And that is the one. So it's that one right there. There should be one there.
I have been hunted by many men, but the most persistent was Colonel John Greystone. The Colonel pursued me for months before his efforts finally bore fruit. He had brought his entire family to face me. Over 30 men and boys armed with muskets, stakes, and holy water. I'm afraid their efforts were futile. I can converted the youngest of them first, then forced the colonel to watch while his grandchildren tore his sons to pieces. Oh, for the colonel himself, I broke both his arms at the shoulders and left him hanging upside down, secured to an oak tree on the back of his property. Well, there were no large animals living near that region, but it was well known that the Greystoke Manor had frequent trouble with rats.
Ah, there she is.
My first attempt to reach the Americas was ineffectual. I knew I would need sustenance for the long journey, so I sought passage on a crowded slave ship that was captained by an arrogant and vulgar slave runner. I avoided his company during the day, and each night I would sneak below decks and draw blood from the wretches chained up in the hold. After less than a week at sea, we were forced to return to port because the fool slaver had murdered half his crew for insubordination. My captain parted company as soon as we docked, but not before I'd finished my work among his cargo. We sailed away with his boat, still full of slaves, but he was no longer their master. Local legend says the slaver's body was found floating in the harbor the next morning, so full of holes and emptied of blood that even the sharks had been unable to detect it.
Yeah, but I've already got. Same with that one too. I got that earlier in a previous part, so there is one here. Here. We need the blood. Right, where are you? On the roof. I'm not sure. This one says it's up here around here somewhere, but I think I may already have this one too. Great. Oh, not got this one. Cool. So that's where we are for this one. I think the next one is there.
I was especially ravenous this evening, so I decided to forego stealth altogether. I knocked at the door of the first house I came to, and as soon as they allowed me inside, I ravaged them without hesitation. The family was large, both in stature and in number. I consumed the mother, the cook, the gardener, and had just finished the last of the 7 children when the front door burst open. The doorway was filled by a massive man in white clothing that was stained all over with blood. His large, meaty hands were also tinted red, and the right one held a large cleaver. The look of shock on his face was matched by the surprised smile on my own. I had apparently chosen the home of the town's butcher. He screamed in anger before succumbing to my bite, but for a moment I knew he had felt the same thing I had, a surprising sense of kinship.
Come here, boy!
Idiots! I have been called many things. A monster, a demon, an abomination. Men condemn my feelings as the worst kind of sin, but their judgments are naive and short-sighted. I have watched generations of men rise and fall, their bodies return to dust, and their names quickly forgotten. All their energies wasted on trivialities. Each time I drink, I give a fleeting, meaningless human the chance to contribute to an eternal purpose. The opportunity to be valued by a god.
Sweet. Alright, that's all of Mary's teachings finished. As I said, I'm going to continue in my own time and get the Canopic jars finished. So the next time you see me, I will have done pretty much all of them. And we'll be proceeding on with the UGC content, which I think we're going to do 2 mandatory ones before we progress the story. Wonderful. Cool. Alright, I will catch you on the next one, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye.